Welcome back to Wildlife Trek, my franchise series here in Planet Zoo. Today is going to be a fun build. It's going to be a big build. I'm going to be putting in the large African Savanna mixed herbivore habitats. This is going to have our giraffe, our ostriches, and our Thompson's gazelles. I haven't used the Tommies much before, so I'm looking forward to putting them in. They're super, super cute, and I've kind of overlooked them a bit, so we're going to rectify that and get them in here. I think what I'm going to have to do is move the path down a bit here, because I want this to be really, really big. This is also going to have a large giraffe house, giraffe barn, as well as an implied giraffe feeding area. So it's got to be quite big. The giraffe house itself is going to be a really large detailed build. That may be a whole episode in and of itself. But let me get our path laid out here. Where is the edge of the map? Right there. Okay. We come down here. So our large herbivore habitat's going to be here in the middle, and then around the outside there's going to be some smaller enclosures for the hyenas and wild dogs. They'll be over here. Oh, no, 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 no. No inbreeding. No inbreeding. Thought I got all of you guys. Contraceptives. Okay. I want white calves from him, but I don't want inbred white calves. Okay, that is sorted out. So back to what I was saying. I'm going to have the African wild dog and hyena enclosures will be around the outside. I want to actually have the lions in this central area as well. Obviously, they'll be separated from the herbivores, but I want to have a moat with a hidden fence in it so that when you're standing looking at the lions, you can see the giraffes in the background, and it'll kind of look like they're in the same enclosure together. But obviously they won't be. Let's see here. So I want to... And then the hippo complex is going to go right here. So I want to take a path off this way. That'll go up toward our Life in the Jungle section. Get our path situated in here. I think that this is going to be big enough in here. But I never can tell the scale, really, until I start getting barriers and animals in. So let's see, how far can I go with this? There we go. Of course, I start recording right as it gets dark. Okay, so I think that'll be plenty big enough here. I'm not going to run the barrier right along the path all the way around. I just want it to be somewhat near so that you can see the animal as you're walking past, but there's going to be a few smaller paths that take you down to some viewpoints. So there'll be one going off here. The giraffe house is going to be right about here. And there's going to be a little bit of a visitor walkthrough area. We'll put an animal talk point in here. So the visitors, they can walk in, they can see the interior of the giraffe house. It will be fully detailed out, and it will be fully usable for the giraffes. I love building the big giraffe barns, and there's some wonderful reference from some real-world zoos to use. And then our giraffe feeding station is going to go down here, and it's going to be elevated. We're going to go like this. If I can get that to actually snap straight. There we go. And this is one of those places where if you go to certain zoos, they let you actually feed the giraffes. You pay like $5 for a head of lettuce, a bundle of lettuce, and then feed it to the giraffes. There's usually a keeper that supervises. I think I want to actually raise this up further. They're pretty neat experiences, and giraffes are really, they're pretty personable, so they really seem to like the visitor interactions. We'll do it like that, because giraffes are tall. Okay. So, and I have angle snap turned on. What that does is it lets me snap the paths to certain angles. Actually, if I would turn it up more, I have it on 11 degrees right now, which is the lowest. If I would turn it up more, it would actually behave better, but I'm not going to do that. I usually just leave it on 11, and then using align to grid, I can then bring this platform out in a nice square feature, and because I had angle snapping on when I went to align to grid, it didn't give me any problems. So that'll be built out with some shade covers. Okay, let me start getting a barrier in here. We'll just use the wood logs for now. Actually, let me get the terrain fixed up here. Use chisel. I want there to be a little bit of a dry moat here, so we'll have a nice unobstructed view. Actually, it might not be a dry moat, it might actually just be a water hole. So I'll dig this side down nice and deep. This side smooth. We'll leave this side kind of rough and dress it out with some rocks so that it looks decent. Let's see, will this work well for water? Yeah, that'll work really well. Water makes a good barrier for an exhibit like this. That way the animals will still come fairly close to the guests, but it's a decent barrier between the animals and the guests. I'm going to cut the barrier in at the corner here just a bit so that I can put some theme stuff there. And we're going to come around this way. So over here will be another enclosure. I think it may... If I don't put the zebras in this main enclosure, I will put them down here. And this barrier here will be temporary because this is where the giraffe barn's going to go. I'm just going to leave it kind of rough and ugly right now, because I really just want to get a fence in, get a habitat gate in, and put some animals in it and see how big it is. See what we're going to have to change, if anything. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, I may have room to even put another zebra paddock over here. I'll cut that in away from the main pathway just a little bit, just in case I want to run another path around the side. A smaller guest path, maybe an elevated walkway. I'll go right there, and then null barrier across the front. Alright, let's put a habitat gate on this and see just how big it is. I don't like what that did to the path. I'm not going to worry about that, though. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that's 15,000 square meters. I'd say that's big enough. Okay. Well, that was bigger than... Okay. I'm gonna have to make this smaller because really big habitats lag the game. Like, they really lag the game. It's the, inside of a habitat, the game has to calculate the walkable terrain for every animal all the time. So let me go like this, and then... Actually, thinking about it, I'm going to have this sunken barrier here between the herbivores and the lions, so I'll just go ahead and put that in right now and save myself the trouble. Doesn't need to be super, super wide. So again, I'm taking some inspiration from the Bronx Zoo's African Plains exhibit. They have a similar setup to this. The lions are separated off by some moats. A couple of them have water in them, a couple of them don't. but it's a very, very minimally visible barriers, and I like that quite a bit. So, let's see. I'll just continue the same one through here. I'll change the height on that fence. Oh, come on. Oh, don't do that. Come on. Really? 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 Okay, it doesn't like how steep the terrain is. I'll fix that then. Everybody complains about the paths in this game, but I think sometimes the barriers are more finicky than the dang paths. Down. Alright, now how big is this? It's 12 cents. Oh dear. I'll go with that. Okay, what happened here? Oh, what are the llamas? Oh. Oh no. The vets are not doing their job. Oh no. We'll pick those up. Just get rid of the old barrier here because I don't need it right now. At this point, I'm not worrying about finances at all. It's just going up and going up and going up. At this point, because I don't have any really super expensive animals in the zoo yet. The first ones that'll go in will be the lions. They'll be pretty expensive, but yeah, I'm not counting pennies at all at this point. So if I need to take something out, it doesn't matter. Alright, let's see what we have in terms of giraffes, if this will not be slow. Of course it will be slow. Let's see. Articulated giraffe. There we are. Let's see, do we have any that are halfway decent but not super expensive? Sort these by age here. I want some fairly young ones. Okay, not too bad. You are terrible for your price. That immunity gene is awful. Not bad. Okay, he's not too bad. We'll take him. And we'll just go with those three for now. Okay, get all three giraffes turned loose in here. One more, there we are. I hate it when it does that. In we go, hopefully. Wish they could get it working to where we could just multi-select animals in the Trait Center and move them all into a habitat at once, the way we can do in Sandbox. That's rather annoying, the way that goes right now. So I can already see I'm going to need more visibility on this habitat here. So I'm going to put in a couple of viewpoints around the edges. Little places to kind of break off the main path. Hopefully reduce congestion a little bit. We'll just make this another water hole barrier right here. think we may actually go ahead and extend like a little viewing deck out from there. But for now, we'll just make it a water hole. That'll do. And I'm sure they'll probably just escape right out of there. Let's find out. No! They're not going to escape! Yay! Awesome! But, to fix the habitat, why did I click off of her? Fix up the terrain before we get protesters. Okay, so we have too much long grass. We need soil and short grass. We don't have any soil in here right now at all, so we'll get that. Do a lot of soil right there where the barn's going to be. And just regular scattered places, but a lot of soil right here because we're going to put the giraffe hanging enrichment feeders there to attract them over to the little implied viewing area. And anywhere where animals are going to congregate, so around watering areas or where their feeders are, there's not going to be as much grass because they're going to trample it down. Okay, so that's pretty well set up. Good lord, that's 11,000 square meters. We'll just remove that one tree. Okay, so plant coverage is alright. We need hard shelter. And then we need some enrichment. But that should keep their welfare from going into the red. At least. Really don't have much in the way of enrichment for giraffes yet, because we haven't researched anything at all. And I've got to get a keeper in here. Giraffe. They're there. Okay, we have a sprinkler. And a rubbing pillar. I'll put in a couple of those. And let's get a keeper hired. Actually, let's get the staff building in. So I'm going to need keeper's hut. Why can't I put it closer to the fence? That's ridiculous. Terrain. Not trying to modify the terrain. Okay. Go like this. Staff room. Keeper's hut. And the guests can just complain for a little while. Until we get the building built. And now our keeper. Create a new work zone. And eventually this will have multiple keepers assigned to it because it is such a big habitat and it's going to have a lot of different species. Call it African, mixed herbivore. There we go. Now that alert will go away. Okay, welfare is in the green. Excellent, so I just need to get these guys researched up, get some more enrichment in here for them. I'm going to go ahead and get the ostriches and the Thompson's gazelles in here and then see if the... without power. Of course it is. And then see if the zebras will fit in here as well. So I have this little water and power building here that I made back during the barnyard episode. I just duplicate it off and use it kind of again and again. Let's see if that is going to reach. Yep, that will be perfect right about there. And then our negative influence is perfect. Okay. Put that there. So that way I don't have to remake this same building or similar building and get it again. Just water and power, and then get it connected up. Alright, I'm going to go into a speed build and get this habitat finished out, fleshed out a little bit more, adjust the barriers a little bit, just toy with it, see if we can get it to a spot that I'm fairly happy with, and then get started on the Giraffe House, which is going to be the big bulk of this build, and also get some of the viewing decks in. I want some covered viewing platforms and other covered little viewing areas. So we'll get those put in, get started on the giraffe barn, and then I will bring you back once I am finished. Alright, welcome back to Wildlife Trek here in Planet Zoo. Life in the plains is coming along nicely. Got the large mixed herbivore exhibit in. It's only about half done at this point, but like I said, this is going to be a bit of a longer build. So next week we'll be finishing this out and building out the giraffe barn. I'm going to base it off of the one at the San Francisco Zoo. It's a really beautiful building, so that's going to be a super fun build. But for today, what we have completed so far is getting the habitat itself in, getting the animals in, getting all their needs sorted out, working on getting them all researched. We've got some albino ostrich, which is great. Running around in here. I think I need to sort out their numbers a little bit more. Went ahead and added the zebras in, I think, because this habitat is so ridiculously big. Having that fourth species in here just adds to it just that little bit more. So we've got our giraffes, our ostrich, the Thompson's gazelles, which are so stress prone, it's ridiculous. And then our plain zebras. I love the zebras, they're just so cute. Little stripy horses. In addition to that, got our little Acacia Cafe in over here, so heavily themed, little... Oh, okay, that wasn't good. Let's try that again. To actually go in through the door and not get stuck in it. There we go. A little bit on the cheesy side, but like I said, that's kind of gonna be the theme. Got our chief beef and a gulpy soda in. Right here at the front. And then the path splits around. Go this way toward the Buffalo and Nyala on one side, and one of our main viewing areas for the... There we go, if I can get the camera to behave. For the African Savanna habitat, gives a good view into that foraging area and the ponds for the animals. Got our education boards in over here. It's all themed up. This area will get completed in the next episode, as well as all of this over here. This habitat is so big that I had to put in multiple power and water buildings just to accommodate it, just to get the water treatment to even touch this. As I said before, I tend to play sandbox. When I play in sandbox, I just turn water cleanliness, clean water, power, everything. So I don't even have to deal with it. We got our viewing platform here for what will be the giraffe feeding area, so that will be the next episode. We seriously have protesters over here. So have to deal with that and get it to go away. Figure out why. It's probably the... Oh, I know what it is. There's an ostrich in quarantine. Of course, the welfare doesn't go up when they're in quarantine. We have our hoofstock barn over here. Fairly simple build, but fairly effective one as well. So this is the hard shelter for the smaller hoofstock, so the Tommies, the zebras, and then the ostriches use this as well. And they do go in here and use it. It's really cute. So then on this side, not too much backstage. Might go ahead and theme it out a little bit more, kind of adjust certain things here. These, this wall and these stall doors I did scavenge off of another piece here. This little small stable that came off the workshop. I'll have to look up who originally put this on the workshop. But I did just duplicate off the doors and this little wall and then adjust it to fit in there. I think it works out really well. Looked at some references for hoofstock barns at a few different real-world zoos, and so it seems to fit that pretty well. And you can see we've got all three species sharing one stall right now. Oh, that's great. More ostriches in here. And another ostrich. I think I have too many male ostriches right now. So did you know that having this little tiny thing right here, having this little metal lip raised up just that far, is too much for a Thompson's gazelle to walk over. I didn't know that, and I found that out the hard way. There were two of them in here when I put this in, and had that raised up just a tiny little bit, and they could not get out. Couldn't figure out why. I was getting alerts for low welfare, low welfare. I thought they were stressed because of the viewing platform. Took a while to realize, no, they actually can't get out. Nope, we've got our first little zebra foals in here. They're just, little Finn here is just the cutest little thing. So this habitat is coming along nicely. I wanted to get some planting and some large planters out here in the middle to kind of break up the habitat a little bit, because unfortunately, and I know I've said this before, I don't love building the really open savanna type habitats because they always end up looking too barren for my taste. I can't cram enough planting in there to get it to look really good for me, and which is kind of ridiculous because if you've ever looked at pictures of the Serengeti, there's plants. There's tall grass. There's a lot of plants. So these plant requirements being really low is kind of the coverage requirement. It's kind of ridiculous. I'd almost like to see a system where we would have like a tree coverage requirement and then a ground cover requirement, or not even a ground cover requirement, just to like break that off, deal with the peafowl before they inbreed. I'll just kick you out. Go be free. And you stop trying to breed your daughters. There we go. There were a few too many peafowl in there anyways. So, that is the state of the African Savanna build. So going forward, I think I'm going to start doing the franchise videos on Wednesdays and the sandbox videos on Sundays. I was doing the 2 franchise videos a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That was working out really well while I was over here in the children's zoo, because the habitats, they're fairly small. They're not massively involved or anything. Oh, the peafowl are getting sick again. You know, fairly small animals, so they didn't require building big involved habitats. Going forward, I'm going to go to 1 franchise build a week, which will be released on Wednesday, and then the 1 sandbox build a week, which is released on Sunday. That way I can put a little bit more time and effort into each habitat. The episodes can be a little bit longer, and I won't be quite as rushed to get anything out, and I think the quality will be quite a bit better. So let me know what you think about that down in the comments. I always appreciate hearing from people. I love hearing that you guys are enjoying it. Anything, questions, see something I've built that you'd like to see on the workshop, just let me know. Feel free to like this video if you've enjoyed it, and if you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe, and if you'd like to be notified when I put out a new video, hit the bell notification. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.